Randy Weingarten, the head of America's largest teachers union, will swear that America's public school students, ages K through 12, are not learning any critical race theory. But then in the next breath, she'll confess that she's already committed an entire legal fund to defending teachers who want to combat newly passed anti-critical race theory bills. What's the truth? The teachers just don't want to teach. And quite frankly, using anti-racism as an excuse is a very good way to do it. We see it in a push across America's gifted programs, where teachers' unions say that they are too Asian, so they must be shut down because of the racial inequity. Same goes for test scores. When students of color perform less well than their white counterparts, the teachers claim that this is because the tests themselves are racist, not that the unions are failing the least privileged students. After all, it's much easier to give some students Robin DiAngelo or Ibram Kendi, tell them how much guilt they should feel for their white privilege, than it is to actually teach them things like math and science. And that is reflected in our test scores. America spends 37% more per pupil than the OECD average, and yet our scores are middling at best. In science and reading, we're directly in the middle of the OECD pack. And in math, we actually perform 4% worse than the OECD average. We're being beat out in all three subjects, not just by obvious nations like the United Kingdom, but also Estonia and Slovenia. Former East Bloc countries are kicking our butts in calculus because we're too busy teaching them how really math is racist, punctuality is racist. The very idea of objective reality and objective truth is racist. So of course it makes sense. On the one hand, I do believe that Weingarten and her ilk are true believers. After all, just look at the way that they vote. Overwhelmingly, some 95% of all AFT contributions do go to Democrats. But on the other hand, it is just pure self-interest. How much easier is it to say that teachers shouldn't be held accountable, because remember, that's what the test scores measure, not just the performance of the students, but how well the teachers are doing their jobs, because they are in fact the woke, decent, and moral ones. Don't buy into this CRT canard, and understand, the teachers want you to pay for their vacation, and they will be shameless about guilting you into doing it.